The immune system contains cells and organs that fight diseases. When a person drinks alcohol, the number of infection fighting cells drastically decreases. There is, therefore, an increased risk of disease. Moreover, abnormal cells begin to grow easily, magnifying the risk of cancer. Mouth, pharynx, larynx, and esophagus. Alcohol alters the cells that line the mouth, the pharynx, the larynx, the esophagus. Consequently, there is an increased risk of cancer in these organs for people who do a lot of this. Stomach. Alcohol causes an increased flow of gastric juices in the stomach. With no food in the stomach, gastric juices may irritate the inner lining of the stomach and causes ulcers. The stomach may also be harmed when alcohol and aspirin are used at the same time. Pancreas, liver. I'm going to skip some of this because these are well-known things to us. Pancreas, liver, brain and nervous system, heart and blood vessels, reproductive system. Alcohol can have marked effects during puberty. It can delay the first menstrual cycle and cause irregular periods in females. It can also affect breast development. Females who drink as youth have an increased risk of breast cancer later in life. Males also are affected by drinking. Alcohol can affect the size of their reproductive organs and the development of muscle mass. It can also affect the age at which the voice deepens, as well as the amount of body and facial hair. So it's just messing everything up. As on its natural order, everything is going haywire. Now, on the mind, how does alcohol affect performance in school? Is affected because so alcohol is a upper or downer? Anybody knows? What do you think? It's a depressant. It's a depressant, so it's a downer. It slows down the activity of the brain cells. Thus, alcohol unquestionably affects learning in a negative way. It becomes more difficult for a person to think clearly and remember facts. Hence, the grades eventually fall. Decision making, sexual decision making, the mother of evils. So when a person is drinking a lot, it causes them to lose their ability to make good decisions with regards to their sexual life. And thus they start to engage in risky behaviors. And basically, just teens who have been sexually active often report that they've been drinking at the time. Okay, so when something happened, they were also drinking. Of course, that leads to the sexually transmitted diseases. If somebody has been just around with anybody and everybody, then whatever anybody and everybody has enters them as well. And then they go around to other people and they spread that over there. Social skills. Some people feel awkward in social situations. They may drink alcohol to take the edge off and feel more comfortable. Using alcohol in this way interferes with the opportunity to learn how to handle and be comfortable with certain unpleasant situations. The right way to deal with that would be to learn how to be comfortable in gathering. Also, violence. A lot of people, when they drink, they become angry and aggressive. So much violence happens with or being under the influence of alcohol. Depression and suicide. Now, here's the problem, that the teenage years in particular may be quite stressful given workload at the education institute as well as at home. Some teens who get independent, inadequate love, attention, guidance from parents may feel depressed. As alcohol is a depressant, it can cause teens who are already depressed to become even more depressed. Alcohol and other drugs used by teens who think these substances will take away the depression are a factor in many suicide attempts because they're already feeling down and then they go even lower. Many suicide bits are made by people who have been using intoxicants and are therefore not thinking clearly. Indeed, these substances can deprive a person from discovering another way of handling problems or seeking help. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْخَمْرِ وَالْمَيْسِرِ. They ask you about intoxicants and gambling. قُلْ فِيهِمَا إِثْمٌ كَبِيرٌ وَمَنَافِعُ لِلنَّاسِ وَإِثْمُهُمَا أَكْبَرُ مِنْ نَفْعِهِمَا. Say, in them is great sin, yet some benefit for people, but their sin is greater than the benefit. The amount of evil that happens far outweighs the good that could possibly happen.